Your life is your life. Don't let it be clubbed into dank submission. Beyond the watch, there are ways out. There is a light somewhere. It may not be much light, but it beats the darkness. Beyond the watch, the gods will offer you chances. Know them. Take them. He can't beat death, but he can beat death in life, sometimes. And the more often you learn to do it, the more light there will be. Your life is your life. Know it while you have it. You are marvelous. The gods wait to delight in you.
The game had started. 8 players forced to fight until only 1 remained. I instantly began to lay the foundations of my defense in order to protect what was mine. I began advancing to the diamond generator with the hope that I could possibly obtain an early kill. Little did I know, an enemy was watching my every move, and they had their eyes on my bed. My first attack on the white team was quickly shut down by the player taking almost no knockback. I had just set myself up for a 2 versus 1, and I didn't even know it. The grey player had not bought enough blocks with him on his attack, which allowed me a short window of time to eliminate white before I was ambushed. After a daring brawl which left me at half a heart, I knew I only had 1 attempt to dismantle the bed. I had to take it. It was a success. White team no longer had the ability to respawn. However, I was still under fire from the grey player. They had to be dealt with. As I ran across the bridge to my next fight, the thrill of the chase began to pulse through my veins. It was at that moment that I realized I love the challenge of survival. Another sweet victory. Everything was starting to go the way I had planned it to. Nothing could go wrong. But in that moment, everything changed. While I was purchasing some new items to aid me on my journey, the white team came back to seek revenge. I was not fast enough to end him before he was able to break my bed. Defeat. A now familiar feeling which I was going to make sure I only experienced once. The survival had to continue. Upon reaching the middle of the map, I was instantly surprised with a standoff with the yellow team. The anger and the hatred that had built up within me was fueling my motivation to end this player. The chase began. I now controlled the middle of the map. I just had to get out safely. The sweet taste of victory was once again becoming a familiar sensation. But it turns out, the win was much further than I had thought. The red player made a mistake. He attempted to start a fight with a man who was fueled with anger and was prepared to unleash it. I gathered up some resources for my next attack. I was planning to end the red team for even attempting to strike me down. I ran towards my opponent, unsure whether this fight would be my last. If something went wrong, the entire game could end here. The attack was a success. Another enemy crumbled beneath my wrath. The time had finally arrived. A 1 versus 1 situation with the last player remaining. This was it. As I looked down upon my opponents, I reflected over everything in this game that had built up to this moment. This was it. This was my final fight.